Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this session, and here we are going to discuss on Asia. I have divided the unit into 5 sessions, and they are mountain systems, plateaus, plains, steppes and deserts, freshwater environments and saltwater environments, terrestrial, aquatic flora and fauna and climate, and finally major attractions. Asia covers more of the Earth's surface than North America, Australia and Europe combined. The estimated area encompassed by Asia is 44 million square kilometers. This makes it the largest continent of the world. Asia also has 60.4% of the world's population. Consequently, the geography varies across the continent. On the one hand, there are deserts like Gobi in China, tropical rainforest, and on the other, there are towering snow-capped peaks of the Himalayas, the highest mountains in the world. Rivers and lakes are also aplenty. Asia's geography affects where people live and where they grow crops. Because of the physical features and climate, people in Asia can live on only a small part of the total land area. First, we shall see about the mountain systems. The Himalayan mountains extend for about 2,500 kilometers, separating the Indian subcontinent from rest of Asia. The Indian subcontinent, once connected to Africa, collided with the Eurasian continent about 50 to 55 million years ago, forming the Himalayas. The Himalayas are composed of 3 different mountain belts. The northernmost belt, known as the Great Himalayas, has the highest average elevation of 6,100 kilometers. The belt contains 9 of the highest peaks in the world. This belt includes the highest mountain summit in the world, the Mount Everest. The Ural Mountains run for approximately 2,500 kilometers in an indirect north-south line from Russia to Kazakhstan. The Ural Mountains are some of the world's oldest at 250 million to 300 million years old. Millions of years of erosion have lowered the mountains significantly, and today their average elevation is between 914 to 1220 meters. The Altai Mountains are a mountain range in Central Asia where Russia, China, Mongolia and Kazakhstan come together, and are where the rivers Irtysh and Ob have their headwaters. Moving on to our second point, which are plateaus, plains, steppes and deserts. Firstly, we shall see about plateaus. Asia is home to many plateaus, areas of relatively level high ground. The Iranian plateau covers more than 3.6 million square kilometers, encompassing most of Iranian, Afghanistan and Pakistan. The plateau is not uniformly flat but contains some high mountains and low river basins. The Deccan Plateau makes up most of the southern part of India. The plateau's average elevation is about 600 meters. It is bordered by 3 mountain ranges, namely the Satpura range in the north, the eastern and western Ghats on either side. The plateau and its main waterways, the Godavari and Krishna rivers, gently slope toward the eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. The Tibetan Plateau is usually considered the largest and the highest area ever to exist in the history of Earth, known as the rooftop of the world, and averages more than 5,000 meters above sea level. The Tibetan Plateau is extremely important to the world's water cycle because of its tremendous number of glaciers. These glaciers contain the largest volume of ice outside the poles. The ice and snow from these glaciers feed Asia's largest rivers. Now, we shall consider plains, steppes and deserts. The West Siberian Plain, located in Central Russia, is considered one of the world's largest areas of continuous flat land. It extends from north to south about 2,400 kilometers and from west to east about 1,900 kilometers. The plain contains some of the world's largest swamps and floodplains. Central Asia is dominated by a steppe landscape, a large area of flat, unforested grassland. Mongolia can be divided into different steppe zones: the mountain forest steppe, the arid steppe, the desert steppe. These zones transition from the country's mountainous region in the north to the Gobi Desert on the southern border with China. The Rab al Khali Desert, considered the world's largest sand sea across Saudi Arabia, Oman, the United Arab Emirates and Yemen. It holds roughly half as much sand as Africa's Sahara Desert, even though it is 15 times smaller in size. The desert is known as the empty quarter because it is virtually inhospitable to humans except for Bedouin tribes that live on its edges. Moving to freshwater resources. The total water resources in the world are distributed throughout the world according to the patchwork of climates and physiographic structures. At the continental level, America has the largest share of the world's total freshwater resources with 45%, followed by Asia with 28%, Europe with 15.5% and Africa with 9%. In the Asian continent, Lake Baikal, located in the southern Russia, is the deepest lake in the world, reaching a depth of 1,620 meters. The lake contains 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh water, making it the largest reservoir on earth. It is also the world's oldest lake at 25 million years old. The Yangtze is the oldest river in Asia and the third longest in the world, behind the Amazon of South America and the Nile of Africa, reaching 6,300 kilometers in length. The Yangtze moves east from the glaciers of the Tibetan Plateau to the river's mouth on the East China Sea. The Yangtze is considered the lifeblood of China. The Tigris and Euphrates rivers begin in the highlands of eastern Turkey and flow through Syria and Iraq, joining in the city of Kurna, Iraq, before emptying into the Persian Gulf. The land between the two rivers, known as Mesopotamia, was the center of the earliest civilizations. Salt water. The Persian Gulf has an area of more than 2,34,000 square kilometers. It borders Iran, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait and Iraq. The Gulf is subject to high rates of evaporation, making it shallow and extremely salty. The seabed beneath the Persian Gulf contains an estimated 50% of the world's oil reserves. The Sea of Okhotsk covers 1.5 million square kilometers between the Russian mainland and the Kamchatka Peninsula. The sea is largely frozen between October and March. The Bay of Bengal is the largest bay in the world, covering almost 2.2 million square kilometers and bordering Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka and Burma. Many large rivers including the Ganges and Brahmaputra empty into the Bay of Bengal. The briny wetland formed by the Ganges Brahmaputra on the Bay of Bengal is the largest delta in the world. Terrestrial flora and fauna. Botanists nicknamed China the mother of gardens. It has more flowering plant species than North America and South America combined. Because China has such diverse landscapes, from the arid Gobi Desert to the tropical rainforest of Yunnan province, many flowers can adapt to climates all over the world. Asia's diverse physical and cultural landscape has dictated the way animals have been domesticated. In the Himalayas, communities use yaks. Yaks are large animals related to cattle, but with a thick fiber coat and the ability to survive in the oxygen-poor high altitude of the mountains. Yaks are not only used for transportation and for pulling plows, but their coats are sources of warm, hardy fiber. Yak milk is used for butter and cheese. In the Mongolian steppe, the two-humped Bactrian camels are used. These animals are endangered in the world. The camel's humps store nutrient-rich fat, which the animal can use in times of drought, heat or frost. Its size and ability to adapt to hardships make it an ideal pack animal. These camels were the traditional animals used in caravans on the Silk Road, the legendary trade route linking Eastern Asia with India and the Middle East. Aquatic flora and fauna. The freshwater and marine habitats of Asia offer incredible biodiversity. Lake is known as Galapagos of Russia because of its importance to the study of evolutionary science. Hundreds of lake bivalves species are endemic, meaning they are found nowhere else on earth. The bivalve seal, for instance, is one of the few freshwater seal species in the world. The Bay of Bengal on the Indian Ocean is one of the world's largest tropical marine ecosystems. The bay is home to dozens of marine mammals. The Sundarbans is a wetland area that forms at the delta of Ganges and Brahmaputra rivers. The Sundarbans is a huge mangrove forest. Mangroves are hardy trees that are able to withstand the powerful salty tides of the Bay of Bengal as well as the freshwater flows from the Ganges and Brahmaputra. The Sundarban supports more than 200 species of aquatic and wading birds. Now, we shall discuss about the climate of Asia. Asia's huge size is one of the reasons why it has regions of a wide variety of climates, some of the coldest, hottest, wettest and some of the driest places on the earth. These varied climates include the bitter cold of the polar north, the hot, dry desert environment of the center and the southwest, and the hot, humid conditions of the tropical south. The temperature vary from over 100 degrees in some parts of Asia to below freezing in other parts. Monsoons wind influence much of Asian climate. In winter, monsoons from the north blow into East Asia and cause cold, dry weather. The wind changes direction in summer and blows from the seas that lie south and southeast of that region, causing hot, humid weather. The great interior lands of Asia are far from the ocean. Winds from the oceans cut off by the high mountain chains which surround the interior. It has long and cold winters, cold winds from the polar regions, widespread summers with short and hot highlands, and little rain except in the mountains has left much of the region as a desert. Asia is the ultimate travel destination, especially during the summer months. It offers its tourists exciting cities, interesting cultures, fascinating wildlife and colorful festivals. And some of the attractions which we are going to see today are Taj Mahal in Agra. The Taj Mahal is an ivory white marble mausoleum on the south bank of the Yamuna River in the Indian city of Agra. It was commissioned in 1632 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to house the tomb of his favorite wife Mumtaz Mahal, now considered one of the 7 wonders of the world and one of India's major tourist destinations. The white marble mausoleum, encrusted with precious gems and Quranic verses laid out in flower patterns, took 22 years to construct and still attracts lovers and dreamers from all over the world. Bali. Bali is an Indonesian island known for its forested volcanic mountains, iconic rice paddies, beaches and coral reefs. The island is home to religious sites such as cliffside Uluwatu Temple. To the south, the beachside city of Kuta has lively bars, while Seminyak, Sanur and Nusa Dua are popular resort towns. The island is also known for its yoga and meditation retreats. Bangkok. Bangkok, Thailand's capital, is a sprawling metropolis known for its ornate shrines and vibrant street life. The boat-filled Chao Phraya River feeds its network of canals, flowing past the Ratanakosin Royal District, home to the opulent Grand Palace and its sacred Emerald Buddha Temple. Nearby is Wat Pho with its enormous reclining Buddha, and on the opposite shore, Wat Arun with its steep steps and Khmer-style spire. Bangkok is the top tourist destination in Asia with 11.5 million visitors arriving annually. Beijing. Beijing, China's massive capital, has history stretching back 3 millennia. Yet, it's known as much for its modern architecture as its ancient sites such as the Grand Forbidden City complex, the Imperial Palace during the Ming and Qing dynasties. Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a city and former British colony in southeastern China. Vibrant and densely populated, it's a major port and global financial center famed for its tower-studded skyline. It's also known for its lively food scene, from Cantonese dim sum to extravagant high tea, and its shopping with options spanning chaotic Temple Street night market to the city's innumerable bespoke tailors. Kyoto in Japan. Kyoto, once the capital of Japan, is a refined city on the island of Honshu with thousands of classical Buddhist temples as well as gardens, imperial palaces, Shinto shrines and traditional wooden houses. It is also known for formal traditions such as keiseki dining, consisting of multiple courses of precise dishes, and geisha, female entertainers often found in the Gyeong district. Mount Everest in Nepal. Mount Everest, also known in Nepal as Sagarmatha and in Tibet as Chomolungun, is Earth's highest mountain. It is located in the Mahalangur mountain range in Nepal and Tibet. Its peak is 8,848 meters above sea level. Temples of Angkor, Cambodia. Angkor Wat is a temple complex in Cambodia and the largest religious monument in the world. It was originally constructed as a Hindu temple for the Khmer Empire, gradually transforming into a Buddhist temple towards the end of the 12th century. The temple is at the top of the high classical style of Khmer architecture. It has become a symbol of Cambodia, appearing on its national flag, and it is the country's prime attraction for visitors. The temples, half hidden in the jungle growing up alongside them, were rediscovered in the early 1900s by French archaeologists. Now, the UNESCO World Heritage Site are also on the top of many tourist lists. Singapore. The Republic of Singapore, and often referred to as the Lion City, the Garden City and the Red Dot, is a global city in Southeast Asia and the world's only island state. Known for its pristine streets and upstanding character thanks to strict government regulations, Singapore is sometimes taken for granted by tourists who see the modern sparkling city as just a stopover on the way to another destination. Tokyo. Tokyo, Japan's bustling capital, mixes the ultra-modern and the traditional, from neon-lit skyscrapers and shops to cherry trees and temples. The opulent Meiji Shinto Shrine is known for its towering gate and surrounding forest. The Imperial Palace sits amid sprawling public gardens. The city is famed for its vibrant food scene, and its Shibuya, Harajuku districts are the heart of its trendy teen fashion scene. Tokyo's Disney is the most popular tourist attraction in Asia. With 25 million visitors annually, the first Disney theme park outside of US. To conclude, we can say that the geography of Asia is diverse, comprising tall mountain ranges, long rivers, beautiful lakes and deserts. Asia is the largest of the world's continents, covering approximately 30% of the Earth's land area. It is also the world's most populous continent, with roughly 60% of the total population. Asia makes up the eastern portion of the Eurasian supercontinent. Europe occupies the western portion. The border between the two continents is debated. However, most geographers define Asia's western border as an indirect line that follows the Ural Mountains, the Caucasus Mountains, and the Caspian and the Black Seas. Asia is bordered by the Arctic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. Thank you.